do to beat as an entertainer. I mean, the price you pay for that is too much. You know, no one wants that. I have plenty of favorite rappers. That's the difficult thing. I'm excluding Biggie and Pop because that's something on everyone's list, and I mean for reasons that everyone knows. I have Rakim, and I think Rakim was so. He had the biggest gap from artists recording next to him at the time. I think everyone was on he was on a different wavelength. When everybody was rapping and don't suck back and I went Ram, I said day and I did and I thought Run and Run DMC, I thought Run was the first person with the most charisma on stage that we've ever seen. But he was rapping, when Run was rapping like with my Adidas, Rakim was rapping like I'm the Arsenal, I done the lyric. He was rapping so far ahead of everyone else at the time that I don't think there's ever been a rapper with a bigger gap. You know, when there was Biggie, there was Pop. When there's Jay, there's Nas. And, you know, there was always somebody right there in hip-hop. When it was Rakim, it was Rakim, you know. Coogee Rap was from that school as well. Big Daddy Kane was, what he did was, what he perfected, that those guys, that his strength over those guys, it was in crafting songs. You know, Smooth Operator and Ain't No Half Stepping, and he was such a great, he had the full package. He can rap and he can make songs. I think that was his contribution to the game. And Slick Rick was just the best storyteller ever to this day. Just his accent alone, just forget about it. Like, he was just the arrogance of what he was saying. And who would sing Michelle, My Belle from the Beatles in a rap song? That's just leave him alone. Modern day, there's Andre 3000. His choice of topic is and his range is incredible. Eminem, you know, to be a white guy in a field that's dominated by black guys. And this is just, I'm gonna say African American, that's so corny. It'll be a white guy, he's like the Tiger Woods of it. Like he's well deserved. It's not because he's white, it's because of the subject matter and what he writes and the patterns he creates. You know, they're incredible. Of course, there's Nas. I think Illmatic being one of the best albums, you know, ever created. The guy who's on top just moves away for the next person that comes along. That doesn't happen. And I mean, who's to say if any person, say it's not me, let's say Nas decides to go on a Caribbean island, who's to say that's your spot? Why is it your spot? Because it's vacant, right? You have to compete anyway. So at least put yourself in a position to be in that category. And we don't decide, the guys who are in power, we don't decide when it's our time. You know, I don't have a date. I'm not saying I move on September 2013. I move. That's really decided by the people. The reason I'm still here, or the reason Nas is still here, the reason the Eminem or 3000 is still here, is because the people decided that they should be here. You know, that it doesn't work like that. I think as long as you're making relevant music and you're relevant to the culture and you have something to say, and then, you know, you just go for as long as you can. I mean, the Rolling Stones, they're still making great music. I mean, and touring all around the world. U2 is still the biggest rock band in the world. You know, Coldplay is just like, they're not saying, man, I wish, you know, that's like I guess that's like a spoiled little kid at that point, you know, like, man, I wish you would stop making good music so I can get on the stage. No, Coldplay is making great music and they're both existing at the same time. I don't see why the two can't exist at the same time. I mean, I see it happening. I see it everywhere. I believe and I always look at music as the soundtrack, and that sounds a little cliche, the soundtrack to our lives. So that's my approach when I make music. My approach is to encapsulate that period of time. So I don't make music based on the club song or the song for the 15-year-olds and the song for the 30-year-olds or the song for the gangsters. You know, I make music based on emotion or truths, and each thing is, and of course, you know, I have the brevity to, you know, add other things on there, but it's all derived from a true emotion, right? You look at Song Cry, like a song like Song Cry is 3 different relationships for me. It's 3 different times in my life when I just took it all and made it one person, or made it one song, but it derived from a true emotion, you know, that emotion of you know, taking advantage of a situation or just not being ready, you know, right? And you just, in that song, the guy was just not ready for a relationship at that time. And then when the girl moved on, it was like, yo, it's your fault. What do you do? Like, so all my music derives from some type of true emotion. It comes from some type of truth. And then I put technical things around it and, you know, different things. So I think, or I believe, that hip-hop will always live because it's energy. You can't kill energy. But I think that we can continue to add incredible and creative things to, you know, the musical palette if we all think of it as that. You know, what is your voice, or what are we saying, or what's my contribution? You know, Slick Rick was great, so storyteller, that was his contribution. Rakim was, you know, ahead of his time and earthly, you know, he was a god body, and it was like he was just so much knowledge that he was instilling. That was his contribution. You know, I think everyone should look at it, you know, like that. I mean, I still make albums. I make albums once again because I'm trying to mark periods of time, not trying to make #1 records. I mean, that's good to have #1 records, but, you know, I've never had a #1 record. I have a longer career than a lot of people with #1 records. It's all what you want to do, you know. So my choice is to make great music for a long time, you know. I may not sell 10 million records on one album, but I sell 30 on 10 of them. Whatever. I mean, whatever you want. Yeah.